We welcome in Melissa Armo, founder and owner of the Stock Swoosh. I'm so glad you're here. We could talk about a few different things that are going on, but first let's just look at the markets. We saw records. We saw records for the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the Dow Jones Transportation Average. We're not far away when it comes to the S&P 500. At the same time, we've had some major selling going on. Your thoughts?
Well, again, I think the last time we talked, we were talking about how people were buying the dip in 2025 a lot, and it worked. And then the market really was back and forth in the fall of last year. Even though we were going up and hitting new highs, it wasn't what I would call a really strong, sustained rally where you have extended big green bars, series of days where you could get in something and hold it for like a week. What we've seen now, just in 2 days, just today and yesterday, is a massive sell-off in stocks and the overall market in the QQQ ETF and the SPY ETF, right off really what was brand new all-time highs in the SPY, and we didn't get over the high in the QQQs. We tried, we failed, but the last high in the Qs was, I think, October of 2025. So this isn't this sell-off in the last 2 days is not what you want to see right after you head up over the high in the SPY. Do you follow what I'm saying? And again, I think we're bouncing here today into a very big sell-off day into the close, but you cannot ignore the selling today, the selling yesterday, going into the conflict that's happening right now, which is part of the reason for the sell-off with Iran. The meeting for Friday with President Trump may be canceled with Iran. So there is just so much going on now where I think people really need to be cautious and not necessarily jump into things and say, oh, this is such a great price, we're going to shoot back straight up to the high, because we might not right now this second.
Right, understood. I mean, there are some people who think that when you have a big sell-off, then it turns around and then you're going to have some up arrows. We are going to be hearing from Google after the bell today. We've been watching the Mag 7 names, but let's start with Google. Your thoughts on that name?
Again, that's another one that could move markets tonight. Like, let's just say that Google has a good report and is gapping up tonight in the earnings and up tomorrow. I don't think it's going to lift the market significantly up in the gap tomorrow. So if Google would gap up, it could sell off. We saw that with some things even this year. And again, look at Palantir. We're just talking about PLTR with your previous guest. That was a giant bar today. I mean, that gapped up on the earnings yesterday and immediately sold off, and then gapped down today and fell off a cliff. So even if Google looks great, looks fabulous tonight, it may tank tomorrow. So again, people need to be very cautious. And so, Google's one of those ones that has had a big run up. I mean, even bigger than some of the names that we've been talking about prior to today. Obviously, Google sold off today. But if you look at that chart and you even look at some of the other things in that sector, it's a good chart. It's a really good chart. I mean, if I didn't think the market had a significant possibility of selling off the rest of the week, I might consider going long Google in a gap up tomorrow. But I'm not sure I'm going to do that, because again, when the market sells off, when the market falls, almost nothing can survive. The only thing today that really looked half decent, and that actually held on to the low of the day, was Apple today. And it's kind of funny because it was like a delayed reaction from the earnings last week, which was a gap down, and then it flipped. And then after it flipped, it went up, but that held on to the gains today. I mean, if you're desperate for a long, you really want to go long something, anything. Again, I wouldn't go along anything here, not knowing what's going to happen the next few days in the market, but Apple seemed to hold up pretty well today.
Right, and you don't have picks now because you want to wait and see. I mean, tomorrow's Amazon, for example. But are you leaning towards certain sectors or stock picks that you will watch? Is there a name that when it dips or you feel like it's ready, you're going to buy?
Well, I still like silver. Again, you were discussing that with the metals.
Yeah.
I definitely think silver could run back up. That hit over the high recently in the last week, even though that tank, that's trying to recover. So I think that could go against the market. And obviously CVX is up. That's another one that could benefit, again, with the conflict that's happening in Iran oil. So I like oil higher. So that's another one if people really want to go long. And then, of course, I mean, there's so many shorts to look at. The list of shorts is a mile wide right now. Oracle looks like it's going to zero. I mean, there's just some of these things. I mean, you almost.
Oracle, okay. What else?
I mean, Oracle
you said short Oracle. What else?
Yeah. Yeah, Oracle looks like a short. Microsoft still looks like it can get all the way down to 400. Netflix still looks lower. And I think the overall market looks lower. Again, we came down to around 600 today or close to it. And the QQQs didn't break in. And we're just bouncing because it's the afternoon here and we're almost going into the close. But I would not be surprised whatsoever at all. I'm just laying out one scenario. One scenario is that Google could be down tonight on the earnings. Everything falls apart with the meeting with Iran. We could sell off all the way down, even bigger tomorrow. And then people are really going to start panicking. Do you know what I mean? We break that 600 level or 675 in the SPY, then people are going to start panicking. Then even the people that would normally want to go long and buy the dip are going to lay off. Do you know what I'm saying? When it starts to get to that scary selling. I think this is a lot of selling, and I think it continues, but I don't think we've seen the scary selling yet, which could create panic where no one wants to buy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right, and that's when you get the capitulation, when you have the real sell-off with heavy volume. You have the concerns about Iran. You're watching tech overall. We won't be getting the jobs data. That everything's been sort of pushed back. Non-farm payrolls now, because of the partial government shutdown, has been pushed back to February 11th. The JOLTS will be February 5th. And CPI will be February 13th. Anything else that turns this market around? I mean, what are some of the catalysts that you think could make a winning market in 2026? Do you believe that we could have an up arrow by the end of the year?
Sure, we could. We could definitely flip around. The market's strong. I think the market's been very resilient. All the problems we had even last year with tariffs, the market seemed to rebound so quickly. I'm just saying that people have been so stuck in this thing where they think the market's going to rebound very, very quickly. It may not rebound quickly this year. I'm not saying that we don't have a rebound. I'm not saying that we don't go up and make brand new all-time highs. Again, the SPY could go up over 700. All that could happen, but it could be 2 months from now. It could be next earnings season. Think about it. We're in the middle of earnings season still. That's true. We got Google tonight. We got Amazon tomorrow. We got a lot of other big names coming out in the next few weeks. But what really, like to your point, is going to move the market back up over the highs in short term? So if you're a short-term trader and you trade momentum, which is what I do, I'm not getting excited here really about going long. And like you said, the jobs number now is postponed. Like if you could say, oh, well, maybe Friday we recover. Why? What? That number's delayed, so we don't even have that number coming out. So that's not necessarily going to happen.
Yeah. Do you have a quick thought on Disney? That's something you and I have talked about so many times over the many years. Now you have a changing of the guard there. Your thoughts, have you been looking at Disney at all? And what are your thoughts, if so?
Yes, that was, again, one that we actually did a short in this past week. It fell. Again, that has been competing also with Netflix. And again, it's so hard to say really what's going to happen with the change of guard. I don't even think necessarily that anybody knows. It had a nice sell-off. You could have played it for a day or two and gotten in, gotten out. But again, that's not one that I'd really want to risk the farm. And some of these sectors have just been beaten down so much that they may take some time to recover. If you want to go long something that looks phenomenal. Walmart, there's a pick. You want look at that chart. I mean, that chart, it's on its own. So I mean, stick with the things that right now you're hanging on and that look good and strong, because again, Disney could collapse even further. Netflix, all the ones we're talking about, if in fact the market wants to sell off. So say you have the market continue to sell off for another week or two. Yes, we could rebound, but I'm telling you that it may not happen as fast as we think. And sometimes the market turns bearish for a short period. Like we could do a dead cat bounce, they call it, where we try to rebound and then we sell off even more. You know what I mean? You've traded those markets, you've seen those markets, and that again is opportunities for shorts and for puts.
Melissa Armo, founder and owner of the stock Swoosh. Thank you so much. It's great to see you, Melissa. Thanks.